Recently, only a couple of days ago, someone on the Thomas Sheridan channel, Thomas Sheridan Arts channel on YouTube, asked me to retell the story of an experience I had, this thing that followed me around Dublin for decades. That uh, just to retell the story, and it does deserve an extra video because having been thinking about that since I made that video, I'm starting to wonder that perhaps it was an egregore generated by me as a result of my personality issues. Let me explain that to you first of all. No, let me explain. Let me tell you what happened first of all. How this became a part of my life. This thing, person, entity, egregore, appeared in my life 4 times in the city of Dublin, where I grew up in Ireland. The first time was about 1982 at a bus stop on the Blessington Road between Jobestown and Killinarden in Tallaght. I was waiting for the 77 or 65 bus, whatever, to bring me into Dublin. And it was a winter's night, it was dark, and I was standing at the bus stop. At the time, that area's all built up now, but in 82 it was still pretty kind of, new. That part of Tallaght, way out in West Dublin, was still being developed, and you were in, the mountains were just there, right behind the bus stop, in an area famous for kind of paranormal and other things, which I'll talk about in another video. So I'm standing there, and I was, like I said, about 18. This horrible, younger looking, red-headed, sort of like what we call a scanger in Ireland, what you might call white trash in America, or a scally in Britain, or a chav. He comes up to me and he goes, "I know you. Where are you from? What's your name? Who are you? Where are you from? I know you. Who are you? I know you." Like that. I'm not kidding. Just like that. "I know you. Who are?" I was like, "I know you. You are where you are." Like a real thick Dublin accent. "I know you. You were," this kind of thing. "Who are you? I know you." This, that, like more like that. "I know you." And it was appalling to be in it's not because he was going to beat me up or I felt like I was in danger that way, but it was such an unsettling individual creature entity. He'd been up to me about that height, to encounter, staring. "I know you. Where are you from? I know you. I know you. You're from. What's your name? What are you doing? Who are you? I know you." That was weird, fucking weird, right? And so I was like, I got to get out of here. So I just walked away from him to the next bus stop. And he followed me down, going, "I know you. Where are you? I know you. You know you." So I think the bus came at the next bus stop, and I got on it. That was the end of that. So moved forward about a year, and I was studying electronic engineering at Kevin Street Technical College in Dublin, which is now part of Dublin City University. And this will be very interesting later on when I describe why I generated this egregore. There was a guy, he died when I was not much long after jogging. I can't remember his name, but he used to work nearby. And he said to me, "If you ever," he says, "I leave work at exactly the same time every night. If you don't want to ever wait for a bus stop, at the bus stop to go home, just stand at that corner in Pimlico." Pimlico is in the Coombe, a very, very, very ancient old part of Dublin. "And I'll collect you. If I see you there, I'll pick you up." So it was handy. It saved me the bus fare and things like that. So when if I was getting out of there at like a quarter to 7, I knew he'd be there at 7. So I'd quickly run, or maybe a bit, whatever it was, would run over. And if he showed up, I got a free lift home, saved the bus fare. And I think he just liked talking to me, the conversation. and we talk about bands and music and stuff like that. And if not, I just got the bus home. So it was handy. So one night I'm waiting for him at this corner in Pimlico, and then I hear behind me this voice. I know you. Where are you? You from? Where are you? I know you. I know you. I know you. Where are you from? I know you. I know you. Who are you? What's your name? I know you. It was the same voice, and it was not the same person though. It was still a disgusting kind of little scanger, right? I'm still a male, but it's I know you. You know you. I know you. I know you. You. Where are you from? I know you. I know you. I know. And again, I just had to walk away. I cannot describe it, but this thing was so in my face. It was like being hit on the head with a hammer. It was not threatening in any kind of physical way, but it was spiritual. Absolutely, damn bloody hell! It was spiritually terrifying. I knew it. I could feel it right then. Uh, then I was starting like, well, that's just bizarre. So, I was wondering if it was a demon or something that I originally picked up on the Jobstown Road and it manifested a year later there. So that was that, right? So then I went on my life. I went away, came back to Ireland, early 2000s. I'm working in Dublin. I'm staying on the South Circular Road near Rialto, another old part of the city. And I'm walking down the South Circular Road to where I lived at the time. And this woman comes up to me. She looked like she was in her 20s. She was a scanger, had a baby in a pram. And then she starts going with the exact same voice. I'm not joking. I know you. Where are you from? I know you. Where are you from? What's your name? Who are you? I know you. Where do you live? The same words, same voice, same everything. From a woman, though. Same accent, but the same voice. I know you. I know you. And I had to run into the front door and lock it. And then a couple of years later, I'm on Liffey Street in Dublin. This will be good long later. This will be many years later. This will be like another decade later. And I'm on Liffey Street in Dublin. And I can't remember. I was looking in the window of a shop that sold Brazilian and South American, sort of like antique drums, all that stuff, that cool stuff. Kind of that kind of South American, Indian, Native American stuff. It was kind of cool. And I was standing looking in the window and I said, oh, that's quite nice. I like that. That's pretty cool. I wouldn't mind that drum. And then all of a sudden there, I know you. Where are you from? I know you. But behind me this time, right behind me. I know you. Where are you from? I know. What's your name? I know you. I know you. I know you. And I just walked home. I didn't even look this time. It has not happened since, but I don't go to Dublin much since. But it hasn't happened since. Now, for years, I wondered if it was an entity, if it was like a fairy or something that I picked up that came down from the mountains in Killinarden Heights in Tallaght at the first event. There is a well-known fairy glen up there, that over the other side of the mountain. That in olden times people wouldn't go up it at night. I'm now starting to think on a kind of a psychological, spiritual level about it. I think it might have been an egregore I created. Now, let me explain why I think that. Accidentally, of course. I've had people over the years, knackers in this scene, scumbags, and they would say things like, Sheridan, how come you don't have a real Ballymun accent? Because I had to lose it to get ahead in life. If you want to get ahead in life, you can't go, what, you can't, you want to get into other countries and try to get it, build a career for yourself, you have to learn how to articulate. Now, I still think I have a Dublin accent, but I have a softer version. My pronunciation, my diction is I would work on. I took acting lessons at one point in New York to deal with my diction and my pronunciation. Not that I was particularly bound, I didn't sound like dust in a turkey, but a lot of the people I grew up with did. And I always associated that, plus that kind of like signed a Dublin scanger working class, because I grew up in a very poor inner city working class area. a kind of like stupid people who go nowhere. I know it's unfair, but that's how I saw it. I have to get out of this shithole. I'll do it. I'll do it any way I can. You know, this kind of thing. So there's a self-loathing element within me. Not a big time self-loathing. But I'm not one of these fuckers who goes, "I'm really proud I came from Ballymun." It's just like it was an accident of birth that I came from there. But I was never. I never. I'm not. I wasn't ashamed of it, but I wasn't kind of. I knew the shortcomings of that existence, and I was also had made it my life's mission to never be one of those people, never be them, and to forge my own way in life. So I'm starting to think now that I wouldn't call it self-loathing. It's more like an element of awareness of the extreme limitations of being a working class Dublin person brought on my childhood and my teenage years, and how I was going to do everything I could to make sure it did not impact negatively on my life as an adult, if you can understand that. And so I was always conscious about how I spoke, how I present myself, how I would cringe when I'd hear, yeah, I would cringe because I grew up with that, and I still cringe when I hear it. Now, no, I don't as much. No, I don't cringe when I hear it now, but I would cringe if I did. It just was like not that it was anything. They could be a very nice person talking like that. It reminded me of everything I wanted to escape from as a kid. So now I'm thinking that thing was that entity was possibly an egregore that I created, like a telepathic kind of thing. I think that's very, very possible that that's what that was. But that's the story for those of you who wanted to hear it again. Yeah, it was like, I'll never forget it as long as I live. There was an element of it's sort of like what's the word I would use? Penetrating hostility in the thing going, I know you, where are you from? Where are you from? I know you, who are you? I know you, where are you from? What's your name? Who are you? Where are you from? I know you.